Today is Sunday, September the 18th, 2016. And I saw something today that kind of triggered me a little bit, got me a little heated, got me a little upset. Now, what I'm talking about is Barack Obama's speech before the CBC last night in Washington, D.C. Now, if you don't know what the CBC is, that's a Congressional Black Caucus. It's like a group of black politicos in Washington, D.C. And they have goals. I'm not really sure what their goals are, but I'll place those on the screen before you. You know, I've read the goals, but I really don't know what it is. These goals kind of come across as like word salad. It don't really mean anything. It's just a bunch of words that seem to look good. As far as I know, the CBC is just a bunch of black people that are in Congress in Washington, D.C., and they pretty much just get together and have parties. I really don't know what they do outside of just being in a group having parties like this thing here. Now, of course, Obama's a speaker there. This would be his last address at the CBC. So he kind of wants to go out with a bang. And he also wants to stump for his friend, Hillary Clinton. Now, the way he decided to do this was at best kind of embarrassing, but at worst, it was just completely disrespectful to the black community to insinuate that we shouldn't vote for somebody else just because we're black. Now, what I want to do is play the clips from the CBC, including the main clip where he says to the CBC that if the black community does not come out and vote for him, it'll be a personal insult to him. So go ahead and roll it.
I mean, he missed that whole civics lesson about slavery and Jim Crow. But we got a museum for him to visit. So he can tune in. We will educate him. He says we got nothing left to lose. So we might as well support somebody who has fought against civil rights and fought against equality and who has shown no regard for working people for most of his life. Well, we do have challenges, but we're not stupid. We know the progress we've made, despite the forces of opposition, despite the forces of discrimination, despite the politics of backlash. And we intend to keep fighting against those forces. When governors refuse to expand Medicaid that hits the folks most in need, we'll fight. When folks block an increase to the minimum wage or refuse to expand paid family leave or won't guarantee equal pay for equal work that hurts the pocketbooks of every family and African American families, we will fight. But don't just watch us walk off into the sunset now. Get people registered to vote. If you care about our legacy, realize everything we stand for is at stake. All the progress we've made is at stake in this election. My name may not be on the ballot, but our progress is on the ballot. Tolerance is on the ballot. Democracy is on the ballot. Justice is on the ballot. Good schools are on the ballot. Ending mass incarceration, that's on the ballot right now. And there is one candidate who will advance those things. And there is another candidate whose defining principle, the central theme of his candidacy, is opposition to all that we've done. There's no such thing as a vote that doesn't matter. It all matters. After we have achieved historic turnout in 2008 and 2012, especially in the African American community, I will consider it a personal insult, an insult to my legacy, if this community lets down its guard and fails to activate itself in this election. You want to give me a good send-off? Go vote. And I'm going to be working as hard as I can these next 7 weeks to make sure folks do.
Okay, so you see what's going on there. You see what he said. You heard what he said. Now, this is just more of this. This is how Democrats behave. They act like the black vote belongs to the Democrat Party. See, me, I'm a guy that's conservative, but my vote will go wherever it best suits, right? If Trump was running as a Democrat, I vote for Donald Trump, regardless of what. It doesn't really matter what party he was running for. I still vote for him, right? If Rand Paul was in the race and I thought he had a good chance in being a libertarian and winning, I'll vote for him there. So to say that just because you are of a certain color or even a certain political affiliation that you must vote with that matches, that so-called matches whatever your color is or whatever your party affiliation on paper is ridiculous. And it's even worse to say that because you are a certain color that you got to vote for X, Y, Z person. I can understand a little bit if you have a certain political affiliation, you want to be loyal to the people that you've been loyal to because of who you are politically. It's just like if you are in the Republican Party, if you're actually an elected official and you don't vote for Donald Trump, that's one thing. But if you're just a regular Joe and you just want to go out there and vote, your vote shouldn't be tied to what color you are. But like I say, this is just the things that the Democrat Party does. The Democrats want to have the black vote in their back pocket. They depend on it because they know without the black vote, without a large portion of the Hispanic vote and a lot of the white vote, they're not going to be able to win. So this is what they do. Now, most of the time they do things kind of in a sly, slick kind of way. They don't really just come out in front of you and say, hey, you're black. Because you're black, vote for me. I mean, can you imagine if it was a white person saying that? Hey, black people, blackies, go out there and vote Democrat because I say so, because you're a Democrat. And it's an insult to me, Mr. White Man, if you don't vote for the white lady that's in there right now to be your president. Can you imagine the backlash? I mean, the backlash, honestly, the backlash wouldn't be as bad if a Democrat said that, you know, versus what a Republican would do. Obama got on Donald Trump about the whole, you know, what do you have to lose comments about the black community. And people were really upset. I heard audible gasp and that's right in the crowd when he said that. But imagine, just look at the situation. Donald Trump saying, what do you have to lose? Why not try something new? He was just saying, hey, just give me a shot. Why not? You know, what reason do you have not to give me a shot? Look at what's going on with the Democrat Party. He was saying, give him a shot based on the results that the Democrat Party has produced, not simply because of the skin color, right? Obama's like, look, you're black, vote for me. Don't worry about what we've done or what we haven't done. And then he got a line about, oh, we've made progress. What progress has been made, sir? I mean, you're sitting here talking about how we need to have equal pay, equal work, all these lies. But my thing is, you've been saying that since the beginning, since 2008 and before that. So it's now 2016, it's current year. So why have those things not been solved in your whole presidency? You want to blame it on getting obstruction, but that's not how men behave. If you are a man and you are appointed to a job, if you're not able to get your job done, it doesn't matter what others are doing around you. It's your responsibility to make sure your job gets done. You can't blame it on other people. And then you can't go out there and say you made progress when there have been no progress made. And another thing, if you want to blame somebody for something not getting done, how are you in the same breath going to say, oh, well, we've made progress? I mean, look, it's either one or the other. Either you're going to blame X, Y, and Z person, Republicans or so-called racists for not being able to get the job done, or you're going to say that you got the job done and you were successful. I mean, which one is it? But I digress. Point here is that this is just Democrats. This is how they behave. You know, they're really racist. They're more in your face racist than Republicans could ever be. If Trump was to go out there and say something like, oh, I would be personally offended if the black community did not vote for me, it will ruin my legacy. He'd be even more of a neo-Nazi than the media portrays him as right now. Before I close, I'm going to talk about the CBC a little bit. The Congressional Black Caucus. You know, what do they really do? I've not really heard about them doing anything in the black community. I mean, I live out here in Virginia. I'm not quite sure if Bobby Scott is in the CBC. I'm pretty sure he is. But Bobby Scott, I mean, what has he done out here in the ghetto? You know, he represents Petersburg, Portsmouth, a lot of those areas in Virginia, which are ghettos. Those areas have not improved since I've been, alive. You know, I grew up in Portsmouth for a long time, I lived there probably about 10 years of my childhood. And the whole time I was there, it was ghetto. And now it's gotten worse. It hasn't improved at all. And that's Bobby Scott territory. I'm pretty sure he's in the CBC. So what has he accomplished there? Just getting elected every year. That's probably his biggest accomplishment, is being able to keep his job. That's pretty much it. It's the same kind of thing that goes on with the Black Chamber of Commerce, right? Now, I'm in black business. I've been in black business for about a decade, and I've helped a lot of people be able to get a lot of money in the black community. And I have not heard anybody ever talk about the CBC or the actual Black Chamber of Commerce. So the question is, what do these organizations really do? And they claim to have black only membership, but look at this guy right here. This is the leader of the CBC, Mr. G.K. Butterfield, who is a elected official in North Carolina. Is this person black? He claims to be black. He says he's from a mixed race family and he appears to be Caucasian. Now, look at him right here. I know this picture, you don't see anybody black at all. Let me help you out with that. Let's just, there you go. That's him, G.K. Butterfield, right? This is the leader of the CBC. See, there's always a pattern like this with Democrats. There's a lot of mental illness. I mean, you got people like Rachel Dolezal leading the chapter of the NAACP in one of the whitest areas possible in the Pacific Northwest. You got people like Sean King out there. I don't know what's going on with him, what he wants to be. Is he want to be a scam artist? Does he want to be an attention whore? Somebody that gets popular on social media? I don't really know what he wants to be, but I digress. Point here is that you got a lot of these, halfway black, halfway white, all the way white people that are just trying to insert themselves in these groups that don't really do anything. And I think the reason why they do that is because they don't have to do much. They can just, it's a form of virtue signaling mixed with mental illness. I'm not really black, but you know what I want to do? I want to disguise myself as a black person to go and help the black community, even though I'm not really doing anything. All I'm doing is making myself feel good. And that's pretty much it. So Obama talking to the CBC, a big time, waste of time. Nothing got accomplished. Nothing that the CBC does is beneficial to the black community. If I'm wrong about that, if you are familiar with the CBC and or the Black Chamber of Commerce, and you know the kind of work they do in the community, let me know in the comments below. Because like I say, I've been in black business for about a decade, and I've been kind of involved with politics, and nobody ever talks about either one of these groups. So that's pretty much all I got to say. Barack Obama, shame on you for trying to shame the black community into voting for your friend, your pet dragon, Hillary Clinton. I'm not going to vote for her because I think that she is not a good fit for my political interests. My skin color is completely irrelevant, right? I think that she's not good for me or anyone I'm associated with or the country in general, period. And I think that's the way that anybody that's voting should vote. So what do you think? Do you think that his speech was a good speech at the CBC? Do you want to have 4 more years of Obama? Are you going to vote for Hillary Clinton? And if that's your case, please explain to me in a detailed and intelligent way why you think that way. Or do you agree with me? Do you think that it was ridiculous for Mr. Barack Hussein Obama to try and shame the black community into voting for Hillary Clinton simply because of the fact that we're black? Our skin tone means everything. And if skin tone means everything, and you have to be black to get into the CBC, Mr. Obama, then who's this white guy that's leading the CBC? Who is he? Who is that guy? That's all I got to say for this video. Whatever your comments are, let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.